All right. Well, that was that. Uh, let's do some I guess final thoughts. Yeah. Fucking weird. I don't know what the fuck that kid was. What he said, honestly, I hardly even heard it. And on top of that, like that was all cringe. I could tell something was up the way he was like standing behind fucking Miyazaki, but I literally have fucking 2 pages worth of fucking games to go over. So I'm gonna try to keep this part relatively short. We'll uh try to do it within like 15 minutes or so. Um but first of all, I just want to say fucking thank you everybody that came out and dealt with my shitty fucking connection and everything. I don't know what was going on earlier, but I was definitely having some technical issues, that's for sure. And yeah, so again, thank you guys for coming back, leaving me tabbed open, hanging out with me and chatting. That really just made this watching this fucking 10 times better. Oh, you know what? They're playing more. Nah, no, fuck it, fuck that. So that really just made it personal for me. So I want to thank you guys for that. It was great talking to you guys and interacting and actually making this stream feel like it was worth my time and your time as well. But fuck, there's a lot of games. So let's start from the top. So there's Hellboy, Web of Weird, I guess we'll call it Web of Word. That cell shaded kind of action game. Much love to you, brother. That one, that looks really cool. I hope to see more from that soon, and hopefully that's one that I can play maybe on my Steam Deck. We'll see. But that one looked really cool. Jesus Christ, I can't fucking write. Post Trauma, definitely don't know what that's about. I think that one's already out, so we'll have to see what that. But that's the one with the fat man, the bodacious bod. Viewfinder, that was the one where it was like the puzzle game that shifted like perspectives around, like where you to solve the puzzle, you'd like take a picture, put it in front of you, and take like a picture of it, and then that becomes part of the environment. Not my kind of game, but it looked really cool. Looked pretty interesting, not gonna lie. Dead Souls, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. The whole Dead Souls X Castlevania, let's go. I really gotta play that game. I've had it forever on Switch. I need to actually sit there and go through it. Let's see, what else do we got? Scars Above. Already forgot what that one was about. Not gonna lie, totally forgot what that one was about. Among Us with the whole new game mode and everything. That's pretty cool. Again, that's just a matter of actually getting people together. So hopefully I can get a group together and play some Among Us soon. I'm sure with that new update, some of the people that were playing it before that I know will get back into it. We'll see. Replaced. So that one was like the sprite graphics, kind of pixel graphics, side scroller one that at first I was just like, yeah, side scroller, fuck this. But as I watched the trailer, my attitude did a 180. That actually looks really cool. I'm actually looking forward to that one a lot. That one might be a little bit higher up on my list simply because I don't play side scroller games. It's just, for some reason, that perspective takes me out of it, and I don't know, it's just those don't typically appeal to me, but the art style of that really got me. Art style and like the cinematics behind it, like that all looks really cool. The combat also looked pretty interesting, although I don't know how much of that was gameplay combat and more was cinematic. We'll see in the future. Street Fighter 6. It's Street Fighter 6. Looks cool. We'll see. I was never big into Street Fighters or fighting games in general, so. But this one has a new open world aspect to it, which looks really interesting and could provide some kind of fresh perspective on that genre and playing those games, because it's not just a menu from menu to fight to menu to fight. It'll actually have like a little bit of like, you know, you're in the game and progressing through the story like that. I think that's what appeals to me most about Street Fighter 6. Bayonetta Origins. I that was happening during the a lot of the technical difficulties, so I definitely want to check that one out. I didn't get to see a lot of it, but it looks like a prequel, more Bayonetta. That's a great thing. Um, Destiny 2 Lightfall. I had to wait until they showed the actual title because I was not convinced I was actually watching Destiny. Kufu, I know you'll be excited as fuck about that probably. It looks really cool. It looks like if Destiny fucked Tron. So we'll give that one a good review. Suicide Squad. I love the fucking marketing for that game so far. I'm just hoping to God that the game lives up to the marketing because I I haven't really played any of the Rocksteady Batman games like Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, any of that. So I don't have much of an opinion on them, other than they look fucking fantastic, and I love all the secrets and stuff that they packed into the Arkham games. And I really like the approach to Arkham games, like with the combat and everything. It's really cool. So hopefully, Suicide Squad brings a lot of good kind of changes up to the formula and adds more to the lore overall. They're bringing back the actual Batman from Arkham games to be in that, so that should be pretty cool. What else we got? We have Party Animals. That looks pretty fucking cool. I love the trailer that they gave for us. That was pretty funny. That one's the kind of like Rock'em Sock'em party brawler game. Uh, it looks interesting. Hopefully that one comes out and I can get some people together and give that one a go as well. Jedi Survivor, dude, so fucking hyped for that. That looks so goddamn good. I love Jedi Fallen Order. I thought that game was fantastic. So and seeing the trailer for that, Jedi Survivor, it honestly looks like it's going to be another God of War situation where they just improve across the board on the game they had before. So here's hoping. Also, it looked in the trailer, it looked like they might have nixed the planetary thing going from planet to planet. I'm a little split on that. I'll have to play the game and see how it goes. I guess more attention to one world in particular would be a good thing. And they did show a few different biomes in that, so it should all be good. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to it. I already know the gameplay is going to be fucking badass. So um, that one looks pretty good. The Dune Awakening, that one was pretty interesting too. I don't know much about Dune, so I'm gonna have to go back and probably watch the newest. It was, I think it's like an HBO Max movie. I don't fucking know. I have to go back and watch the new Dune movie that came out not long ago. Because I just missed it. Not that I had anything against it, I just didn't actually get around to seeing it. And so I can get a little bit more verse on the Dune lore. But that game looked pretty cool, though it was mostly cinematic. I don't know much about the game itself. Looks to be like a pretty intense kind of action RPG. Forspoken, every time I see the trailers for that game, it just looks better and fucking better. Like, good God, that game is fantastic. I'm looking forward to playing it. I hope it lives up to the hype because initially I was like, meh. Then they hit us with that gameplay trailer. I was like, oh, okay, okay, I see you. I got you. So looking forward to that. Death Stranding 2. Let's fucking go. First of all, necessarily called it, but I was right on the fucking money about what or seeing a Kojima game. And it makes sense because him and Keeley are like butt buddies, so all good. Um, don't know shit about it otherwise. I would just hope to God they learn their lesson and it's less walking sim, more stealth action, whatever. The fun bits of Death Stranding. I hope they capitalize on that and take out a lot of that walking shit. Now, I don't mind going from place to place and exploration and stuff, but I just hope it's done a little bit more palatable. Immortals of Evrun. That's that FPS spellcaster game. We saw maybe like 30 seconds of cinematic trailer that seems like to be one of those like half cinematic, half gameplay things. It looks cool. The aesthetic and everything, it's there. It looks interesting. Can't wait to see gameplay from it. Nightingale, that's that Survivor one that looks like Moody was saying is an acid trip. That's survival, PvE, action, all that stuff. That looks really cool. Like again, I was mentioning I'm not big on survival games, but that one, if I get into a survival game, it's got to have something more unique to it than just the simple like focus on survival elements. And that one definitely looks like it had a lot going on. And I fucking called the fucking parcel parasail type shit. That was hilarious. Baldur's Gate 3, that looks fantastic. Someone in the chat mentioned earlier that it might have had like a rocky like launch or something like that, and I don't really remember hearing much about how the beta went. But that was the beta that came out a while ago, maybe even a year or so at this point. And yeah, so here's hoping that the Baldur's Gate 3 launch goes well. Would love to see that be successful. And it really looks like it's a huge improvement over the older games. Obviously, there's been like a 20, almost 20 year fucking difference since it came out, but I'm just looking forward to that. It looks really good. Wayfinders, that's the Dauntless, World of Warcraft, Destiny, all-in-one kind of game. That looks interesting. The action combat with multiple people, I think, is a really good approach to games. And it looked like it had a pretty fucking intense loot system too. So here's that. Hoping the world in that is interesting and it's not too linear. I didn't catch if it was supposed to be an MMO or what exactly, but it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Fire Emblem Engage, let's go. The fact that they put the Three Houses characters in there, fuck yeah. Stoked as hell. Diablo 4, even though we didn't get any gameplay, that cinematic was amazing. Probably one of the best cinematics of the night, not gonna lie. Epic as fuck. Got a lot of hopes for that. So I didn't catch the date, but the Horizon DLC was finally announced. Burning Shores, let's fucking go. You didn't really see much other than it's in Hollywood, LA, so that's okay. If Horizon is good at keeping with its own trend, I think it's probably going to be the best Horizon content yet. Horizon 1, great game. Horizon's DLC, what I like to call 1.5, even better. Albeit shorter, it was even better than the base game. Horizon Forbidden West, the best that they've done yet. It was even better than the Horizon Forbidden West, or Frozen Wilds. Even better than that. Should be. It's a fucking full-blown sequel, but like I said, they're going up. It's good. Hopefully Burning Shores is even better than Forbidden West. Blue Protocol, you saw a little bit of the action in that and a little bit of like the exploration and stuff. That looks awesome. Here's hoping that it's popular. I want to see some more gameplay on it before I get too crazy into it, but it looks good. It looks like a more adult Genshin. I shouldn't say that. It actually doesn't look much like Genshin at all. It just has similar graphics. Remnant 2, that fucking looks awesome. That looks really fucking cool. The graphics, good god, it looked fucking amazing. I really like some of the monster designs that we saw in just the trailer alone. That fucking sword, like the cog sword shit he had on his back, epic as fuck. Love the hell out of that. Transformers, was it Reactivate or whatever the hell it was called? It was all CGI, so I'm really curious to see how it goes, like what that plays like. But interesting premise. It looks like a bit more of a hardcore approach, maybe more of a serious tone thing. So that's cool. Company Heroes 3, we'll have to check out the gameplay trailer on that, see what we think. But Company Heroes is pretty good middle of the ground or middle of the road military game, so it could be fun. Again, we have to see how that goes, but hopefully it's not just a fucking flop. Behemoth looks pretty cool, although I think that one is going to be a VR. I'm not too sure. but it had some Dark Souls, Shadow Colossus vibes to it. So, well, I got hopes for it. I'm not gonna get too crazy, but we got hopes for it for sure. Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. So that looks fucking sick. The few monsters that we saw, awesome design. That's the one though that's from the studios that made Life is Strange and stuff. And yeah, so prepare for a lot of SJW woke ass shit shoved down your fucking throat unnecessarily. But that aside, the game's probably gonna be fucking fire. Just in the little bit of the minute amount of gameplay that we saw, I'm getting some God of War combat vibes. So it's got potential. Fucking Space Marine 2, let's fucking go. You like Gears of War? You like Warhammer? You're gonna like Space Marine. I am so stoked. And plus, Tyranids are my favorite army. That's the army I played when I did play the tabletop game. So fucking sick. So excited for that. That one looks really good. That Meet Your Maker game, that one was the one that was kind of like with the robot dying repeatedly. That looks interesting. Again, I'd have to see more of that, more of the gameplay side of it. But it definitely looks really cool. Where was I? Blood Bowl 2. I mean, it's Blood Bowl. I just hope my main concern is I hope it is better performance wise and like interface wise than the old game. The old game was really clunky and it's just kind of hard to get into, and I feel like because of that it made it less appealing, and like the pacing of the game was super slow. Then we got the Crash Team Rumble. I need to see more of the gameplay. It's got potential. I don't really think they can fuck up too bad with Crash Bandicoot, but we'll see. Looks like a team-based shooter. I actually have no fucking clue. At one point, it looked like you slam dunk Whopper fruit into a basket, and then another time, there's like people like shooting each other Splatoon style. So we'll see. It could be fun. High hopes. Lords of the Fallen. This is one I'm going to keep my eyes on. Like I was saying, the team that developed it, this is a reboot. They've done Lords of the Fallen before, and it was like a McDonald's version of Dark Souls. That's the best way to describe it. Then they also made The Surge and The Surge 2. Awesome games. I love those games. I thought they were really cool. They were a relatively unique take on the Dark Souls combat. But ultimately it was a Souls clone, and I'm also totally fine with that. I love Souls clones, so Souls likes. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that one. High hopes for it. Crime Boss, that's the one with all the famous people that came in. Fucking what's his name? Again, I've already forgotten. Yondu and shit. Yeah, so that one looks really cool. It's kind of like a first person Vice City, maybe like a Far Cry X Grand Theft Auto. That one looks really good. Hey Michael, appreciate you, my man. Cyberpunk, I'm fucking stoked. I hope to God it doesn't have any fucking technical issues like the first one did. Not the first one, but the base game did. This is was it Phantom Liberty or something? It's an expansion. Atomic Heart, one of my most anticipated games. I've been waiting for that shit since they fucking showed the initial trailer 4 years ago. Ray, my man. Well, welcome. How are you? Thank you so much for the raid. Let's see. Why is it? Oh, that was the raid alert. Sorry. My phone is going crazy because I have my stream up because I was having a lot of technical issues with like frame rate shit earlier. So I have my phone with my stream open. But yeah, so hopefully the Cyberpunk DLC is a lot more stable than it was when the first game launched. And the fact that they got Idris Elba in there, fuck yeah, man. Thank you. I went through a few different raid alerts too before I actually settled on that one. Let's see. Oh, and then also I'm probably gonna play through Cyberpunk again on stream somewhat soon. Yeah, yeah. I saw the kid get taken off the stage right there. I didn't know he got arrested. I'm gonna look that shit up later. But that shit was fucking hilarious. Like I don't know what he said. Something about Bill Clinton or whatever. I don't fucking know. Um, but I want to look up all the shit. Who the fuck that kid was? He looked weird and out of place when he fucking walked up on that stage. Anyway, so I knew something was up. I didn't think it was gonna be that shit though. Like what the fuck? Um, that game Scars Above looked pretty cool. Very interesting. That was like the kind of sci-fi shooter one, puzzle, a lot of puzzle emphasis in the trailer at least. So much shit going on with that one. It was really hard to pinpoint exactly what it was, but it looks kind of like the like a Control or what was that fucking game that they just announced coming to PC where the lady dies over and over and it's like a shooter. I'll say it looks like Control, but a lot more fucking crazy hyper sci-fi. Um, but yeah, that game looks pretty cool. Probably no, yeah, hands down, the winner of the show for me, like the coolest fucking thing was the Armored Core announcement. I so fucking excited that I know the rumors have been around for a little bit, but I am so fucking excited that not only do we have the trailer, so we know it's coming soon, coming next year, but it's being done by FromSoft. It's it was done by FromSoft before, but not when they had all this fucking Dark Souls money and talent. So fingers fucking crossed. I am so fucking excited for that. If you guys haven't played Armored Core before, it's a bit of a hard game to get into. It's not super beginner friendly, not very casual friendly. But if you like mechs, if you like customizing mechs and all that stuff, and then obviously fighting them, fucking awesome game. Definitely go check them out. There's a bunch of them on PS2. I think there's even some on like 360 and PS3 as well. Um, but now we're getting a new generation of them. I could not be any more fucking excited. Like, good God, good fucking Lord, I am so stoked. My only like worry is that given the technical, uh, I guess difficulties or challenges that games have nowadays in creating assets and all that kind of stuff, I hope that customize factor is still there. Um, and I also hope the narrative is a bit easier to follow. That was another thing, is the narratives were really cryptic and it was kind of like a mission by mission thing. I don't mind it being a mission by mission deal again, but I would just really like a cohesive narrative, something else like a story of any sort, really, that's easier to follow. That was probably the biggest drawback, I think, for me personally, in the old games. Other than that, combat was awesome, albeit sometimes a little hard. You could fuck yourself over with like the wrong setup and like combination of parts too. So yeah. Wild Hearts. We didn't see a lot of that, but that's another Monster Hunter game, like a Monster Hunter clone, if you will. That looks sick though. Like the fucking few monsters they showed, the designs on them, really, really cool. Really well done, I think. We'll just have to see how the actual game goes. Gotta go. Hope you have a good stream. Have fun. Good night, man. Blue out. No, I appreciate you, Blue. Thank you so much for the raid, my man. I'm actually gonna wrap up here in just a couple minutes. I'm just going through the last of the games and my thoughts on them, and then I'm gonna wrap up myself. So, and then the last game that I wanted to go over was Final Fantasy 16. Like I mentioned while the trailer was going, Final Fantasies are such a like near and dear series to my heart. It was actually the first JRPG games I ever played. I've played most of them, and I'm a little sad that it's not turn-based combat, but the combat that's there looks fucking awesome. It definitely looks a lot more approachable for people that aren't into those kind of games, especially the ones that don't like turn-based combat. And if I'm not mistaken, the combat director from Devil May Cry is the same. He worked on this game too. He helped do the combat for Final Fantasy 16. So there's some pretty cool stuff that can happen with that. Let's see. And then I guess all the awards and stuff that came out tonight, everything was great. I would say probably the only one that didn't sit right with me was the music direction, or I should say the OST. And not that it was bad, like everyone that won, every game that won an award tonight deserves their award. But I think for the soundtrack and OST and stuff, I think that the Hellraiser game, whatever the fuck that was called, that one should have won, because they had its like entire marketing process was on its soundtrack, on the audio. The fact that they got a lot of famous composers and musicians in general in on that game, it definitely, I feel, deserves the award. But God of War is great too. It was just more of a symphonic kind of orchestral soundtrack, and I just personally don't see a lot of people fucking doing that. Like I feel like more people that would be watching, or more people that would be listening to music outside of the game would probably be from like that Hellraiser game that I mentioned, because that's like some badass like metal stuff and all that shit. So that's the only one that I would disagree with, honestly. Like, I should say, not even disagree with. I disagreed with plenty of them, but the only one that just like didn't sit right with me. God of War, definitely a great game, deserves all the love and praise in the world. And then of course at the end, my Elden Ring won Game of the Year, as it should be. Not that any of the other games didn't deserve it. I was actually really happy to see all of the games on there. I feel, aside from the A Plague Tale, not that it didn't deserve to be on there, but that game is just, that was the only like outlier. Xenoblade, super happy that it was nominated. I feel just the nomination alone put a great spotlight on JRPGs in general, as well as that game too. So here's hoping. Like to see more JRPGs pushing their bounds, getting to that Game of the Year nomination, because they absolutely deserve it. Stray, another really good kind of out of nowhere game. So happy to see that was on the nominations as well. God of War, like I said, I've said this before, and I have a video on my channel if you want to go look at it. I do all of my voting and explain all of my thoughts on each vote. But what it came down to for me was this: God of War improved on its predecessor in every way. Every single thing about God of War Ragnarok was an improvement over the God of War that came out a few years ago. Every little thing, the music, the gameplay, the dialogue, the story, the puzzles, all that is just better. I could say the exact same thing for Elden Ring to Dark Souls 3. I picked Dark Souls 3 because I feel like Elden Ring's way closer to Dark Souls than Sekiro. And even so, if you want to go with Sekiro, same fucking thing. No, I think Dark Souls is better because of the customizable. Sekiro, there's no change in armor and all that shit. You had some stuff to change, but it wasn't like the Souls games. So we're gonna go with Dark Souls 3. And if you want to look at it like that, like I said, exact same thing could be said that I said about God of War, but with the added caveat of they brought something new, and that was the open world. And they did the open world amazing. Like I'm a big open world game fan. I usually hold open world games to the Skyrim standard. Not necessarily like technical standard, but like the world of Skyrim and Bethesda games in general, so fun and interesting to explore. So unique, so just immersive, and there's just so much to like about those games. And for the first time in a long time, this game, Elden Ring, gave me a similar feeling. I had a very similar opinion and like vibe off of Elden Ring that I got from those games. And simply because of that, the fact that on paper, both games, Elden Ring, God of War, hit all the same boxes, except for right at the end, Elden Ring checks one more box, that's what's going to do it for me. And every game that was nominated pretty much for every single award deserves it, and I'm glad they all got their awards, they all got nominated. And yeah, so congratulations, Elden Ring, you deserved it. FromSoft, you're fucking legends, and thank you so much for giving us Armored Core. I cannot wait for that. Honestly, I cannot wait for a lot of these games.